Hafa and welcome back to KUAM News Extra. Now joining us are some of our friends from WestCare Pacific Islands to tell us about a new program to help keep the spark alive in many couples' relationships. And coincidentally, that's the name of the program, right, ladies?
Yes, it is.
Asia, Leslie, thank you so much for joining us today on News Extra. So first off, tell us how we came about the rebranding of this program and what was the original name?
Sure. So some of us might know our program. It was called the Guam Healthy Relationship Education Program. And notice how that took me like 30 seconds to get out? That was part of the rebrand. This is a new program for our island and really in our region, focused specifically on couples. We call it a relationship enrichment project. And so that means that we're helping couples to better connect, to help build intimacy, to give them some information about being in a couple in order to strengthen their relationship. And so this is something that our island's not too familiar with, and so it was a new program for us in our community, which meant that we needed to come up with a great way to engage our community other than the Guam Healthy Relationship Education Program. Our target is really a millennial audience. Young couples between the ages of 18 to 35 are encouraged to join our program, and it really is to give them the education and the skills to build their relationships, because what the research shows is that the stronger the family, the stronger then the children become, and the better outcomes for the children when they're in a family that has a healthy relationship. So we felt like the name, and we even had an acronym called GREP, which is kind of like a funny sounding word. We felt that the name didn't really capture the spirit that we were going for and the message that we had for young couples. And so we worked really closely with the great marketing agency to come up with our message and really hone in on a word that would excite people and get couples interested in the program. And there we have Spark.
And then you said that a lot of this you guys have found to cater to millennials, where you hear a lot of couples these days, they're not really looking for any long-term relationships or anything too serious, and so this is where you guys step in.
Right, yeah, and so the only requirement is that you be in that age range and in a committed relationship. And the idea, again, is to have each partner really think deeply about their commitment, but also learn things like communication styles and how to better be a listener in the relationship to really, again, enhance their bond between each other.
Right. And Leslie, what's the role that you play in all this?
I'm the research assistant, so I'm the nerd in the back that does all the data collection.
Not today.
Not today. And it's like, hey, I'm here. But just to add on to what Asia said, there's a purpose behind everything, right? So in the human services industry for GREP, we're formerly known as GREP, like Prince. Honestly, I don't even think the age group even knows who Prince is. The marketing change or the different direction is because it is new to the region, and everyone thinks it's more of like everyone thinks that when you hear Guam Healthy Relationship Education Program, it's therapy, it's when something goes wrong, it's a reactive thing. It's not. We want to foster that healthy relationship between couples and hopefully have a healthier and happier community through our children, through the children that's going to become of these relationships, right? And because we're targeting the younger audience, we kind of want to make it a, I guess, trending thing where you educate yourselves. We have the internet, we have all this, but why not a face-to-face, small group, intimate type of setting where you can actually learn how to communicate, learn how to better yourselves, better understand yourselves and who you are in a relationship so you can work together.
And of course, as millennials, they're always on their smartphones or other devices. So do you guys use these to interact or use it as a tool?
Well, we use it in terms of our social media and marketing and getting engagement and building brand awareness. But our curriculum is old school. And so it really is about, and in fact, we talk about the use of technology in relationships and what that looks like today with young couples. And so there's a discussion about it. And it might even be that couples might discover that it might be an issue in the relationship, or they might not understand how much is missing with that interactive face-to-face connection piece outside of using our devices. So we do keep it old school and really encourage participants to be connecting through eye contact, through proximity to each other, and really just getting that humanness again in their relationship.
Going out there, keeping it old school, meet people the usual way, and maybe pick up the phone and call and check with them rather than a text message. And so have there been any challenges with updating and just the rebranding of this program now that it's Spark?
I think that it's been received pretty well. I think it piques people's interest when they see, oh, what's Spark? And so right now we're just launching it. So part of our goal in being here is to raise that awareness and see what comes back to us. But we've had some really good responses so far, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we did.
With those responses being so positive, any success stories that either of you would like to share? Of course, without naming them, just through your experience and
Sure. So formerly when we were GREP, we definitely have some couples who have graduated, and one that comes to mind is a couple who came to us. They heard about the Guam Healthy Relationship Education Program, and they really felt so good about their experience together that they wanted to then give back. And so they've asked us many times. They've been a great representative for the program and telling other couples about the things that they've experienced and how it's helped their relationship. And every time we have an event, they're like, can we come? Can we come? Can we be a part of this? They really want to share their experience and their story. And to us, that's the biggest credibility, is to have people who go through it then believe in it so much that they're willing to bring others into the program. And once you get started there, then the fire starts to spread.
Right, a success story to pass along to others down the line. And so when it comes to the Spark program, what do people need to do if they wanted to get involved as well?
Well, again, only one of the members of the relationship would have to fall in the age range of 18 to 35.
Okay.
They would have to just call or show up at our office to sign up and schedule an intake appointment with one of our family service specialists and just go through there and just be willing to commit themselves to a few weeks of classes and actually commit to attending them together.
I have to ask, what is the oldest couple relationship that you have had to cater to?
I think that we had a couple in their late 30s and 40s who wanted to, so we had a couples retreat. And by the way, did we mention that everything is free? So that's the
plus.
upside, And we have pretty engaging activities and events that we sponsor. So for example, we have a couples retreat. And we had a couple who heard about our program, and they had gone through a divorce and they wanted to try and rekindle. And so they came to the retreat and really talked to us about wanting to connect and how important it was for them to be there and really try and find a way for them to reconcile their relationship, because that was their goal. And they went through the retreat and it was really positive, and they came up to us later just thanking us. And at that time, we didn't screen out for age quite yet, because we were just getting our eligibility nailed down a little bit more as we were developing our program, because we're fairly new. I think we're in we completed 1 full year of implementation, and now we're on to our 2nd year. So we've had some growing to do. But they really were like, this needs to be out there for everybody, really challenging us. Like, this is good because couples go through so many different phases in their relationship, right? And so you start out with that young love and, you have that fire and you guys are connecting and each person is their individual self and you're coming together. Then you have other phases in life, like when you have kids, and you might be a little more challenged as a couple to kind of keep it together, manage the household, that all those other duties that are happening in your life, detracts from the relationship sometimes. And so it's appealing for those with struggling or, getting through that phase of life. And then you have people who have kids who are older now and having to rediscover each other, and they've become so, the relationships become so mundane that they want to, again, find that spark. So there's a need across the whole life cycle of a relationship for our program.
Not to mention how you change or learn what type of parent you are. And sometimes those parenting styles either work together or they work against each other.
Yeah. And taking it a little further back to when it deals with millennials, has you ever come across a case where people are just quick or they're rushing into the relationship? Maybe they've only been together a couple weeks or a couple months, and you see them already needing that assistance to find that spark to continue it on.
I think a lot of couples who come to us have been together somewhat long term, close to a year or so. I don't really see many who are coming in who are just brand new.
Right.
I think it takes a level of trust in the relationship, and you've had to build it up to a point where you're saying, let's try this together, especially because the couples who come in, they engage in experiences that are pretty deep, right? And so we talk about, what is your vision together as a couple, and what does your roadmap for your relationship look like? So we're finding that most of the couples that come in already have that foundation already built, and that they just want to take it to the next level by coming together.
Okay. And so what's the next step from here? Do you guys plan to enhance on what you guys already rebranded?
Well, one of the things that we have coming up are look out for our events, because they're very hot and popular. We try and do some innovative and creative things. For example, we had a date night at Tommy's Pizza, and that's, you know, it's a hot spot right now.
Who doesn't love pizza?
Yeah, exactly. And it's, you know, artisanal, and it really, and it's a couple who are, you know, engaged and have a family who run this business. So it was a nice thing for us to go there and have them be a part of it, and the couples to come out and just engage with other couples. We talked about, you know, what it is to have a date night and how long has it been since you've had a date night. And for a lot of couples,
what's your definition of a date night?
Right.
Exactly.
Do you get a lot of
Yeah. So is it when the kids are asleep? And I was like, even when you guys are talking out on the porch and just having coffee, like what is your time together? Yeah, it's a lot of discussions that people don't really think about, and they take advantage. They just mull over, like, oh, it's another day. We're just talking to each other. But no, make that time, you know, special.
Yeah, for them it really becomes the norm after a while. And
exactly.
So, any final words out there to our audience that you just want to make sure that they know all they need to know? So, if they want to find out more about the program, you can just let them know right now.
Yeah, so we have an upcoming couples retreat. Again, this is one of the events that we sponsor. It's an overnight stay at Leo Palace, and we do it twice a year. But the one thing I want to say to couples is that, you know, I think there's a common myth that something has to be wrong for you to engage or seek out something outside of just being in your relationship, right? We're here to say that that's not true. That in fact, your commitment is shown even greater by showing up for each other to be a part of these things. And there's only things to gain and not to lose by being part of our program. So we encourage everybody to come out, come see us, try something different. We like to think of each workshop as a date night on its own. We have childcare and transportation. We really want to reduce barriers. And so come and see us, and let's learn more about how to keep the spark alive.
All right, definitely. Leslie, Asia, thank you so much for your time. Check them over at WestCare Pacific Islands. More extra after the break.